Hello and welcome back to episode 15 of my informative playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, in the last video, I did some of the dialogues, and we learnt quite a bit about Harem and Jod. And that video took almost 50 minutes, so I think instead of doing another batch of NPCs, I'm going to do a bit more combating. And our main thing, now that we've cleared the Temple of the Elk, is there's a certain gnome sorcerer who we need to track down. And since we're going to be going to Old Sycamore, we're going to clear the rest of the caves as well. And this should hopefully net us level 4. So this will take 13 hours. It's quite a journey. And unfortunately, this there's quite a bit of running to and fro here. So basically, we've got to get to Tartuccio, who is 2 screens away. But it's just kind of part of the game. And we've got loading screens, which are a little bit slower than I would like. So, what I'll do is as we're going, I'll just talk a little bit about the Tartuccio fight. Now Tartuccio is a gnome sorcerer with red dragon bloodline, and true to form, he uses fire spells. In fact, he uses fireball, and he uses 2 fireballs, like in back-to-back succession. But because he's manipulating the kobolds, and he doesn't really have any respect for kobolds, he will actually kill most of the kobolds in the room where we fight. And that means that we don't actually need to defeat those kobolds ourselves. So if we're protected from fire, we can let Tartuccio kill almost all the kobolds and just focus on killing him. The other option, if you don't want to spend that money for 700 gold for a scroll of protection from fire, is you could either buy a scroll of resist fire, which will give you a small amount of protection. I think it's the first 10 points of damage, which can be very effective if you have a high reflex save. Or you can just try and rush him down. So if you charge through the kobolds, you know, that old typical, how do you deal with who do you target in the enemies first? You kill the mage first, because you know, while they're the most squishy, they also can do the most burst damage. So we should just be able to open this up. There we go. And actually, if we get to about here, it'll move us in and the door will lock behind us. So we're going to apply our buffs first. So
the world is full of wonder.
We're not actually going to apply very many. Just some simple stuff. We're going to cast Bless, but we're going to save all this other stuff, and then finally, I think quite naturally, we're going to take this scroll of protection from fire.
Adventures are exciting.
Yeah. And cast that on everyone. And that is the most important part.
This is my time.
We're going to try a hybrid strategy. We're going to let...
Any fun to be had?
We're going to let Tartuccio fireball everyone. And simultaneously, we are going to hopefully have Ragga take care of everyone else. I'm just going to rearrange to put Harem in the back, Ragga in front, and hopefully this will work out.
Oh, my impromptu rival. You are late, as always. A little advice: never join any races. Speed is just not for you.
So you kind of saw he had some sort of portal open, and it's hard to tell whether he pulled something out of there or put something through there. But basically we know that an item moved through. There he is, little scaly Tartuccio. What's with that disguise, Tartuccio?
Do you mean the performance I put on for the kobolds? Wasn't this an excellent idea? The poor folks did everything I wanted, even started a brawl with their beloved neighbor mites. I did not even need to make any effort to complete my mission. That is why I will always be a step ahead of you and the like.
And this is the person I nearly made the hero of my book? Ew.
Ew.
Without a doubt, Vice does have its advantages. However, in the end, it always, you hear me? Always gets what it rightfully deserves.
I know you're the Pitax spy.
But you don't know my mission, and won't ever know because I will never tell you, even for the pleasure of seeing your discouraged face.
And this is the key question here. Like, what on earth was going on? Why has he come into this sacred sanctum of the kobolds and the mites? You know, what's the deal?
Don't take me for an idiot. I am not going to tell you anything, even despite the fact that I am going to kill you. By the way, did you know I am going to kill you?
Yes. And we can try and resolve peacefully.
We do, Dimwit. We really do. You know too much. And truth be told, I am simply tired of you.
So there we go. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kobold sentinels. No, not all kobold sentinels, but we've got 3 kobold sentinels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 kobold sentinels, 5 regular kobolds, and 2 kobold archers, and Tartuccio, who's had a really good initiative roll. There we go, 1.5. So, yeah. But that's fine for us, because it just means he's going to hit us with a fireball. And they're all going to go for Ragga, who I probably shouldn't have put out front. So let's just
Let us strike as one.
hope he doesn't take too much damage. While we wait for this fireball to go off. So there we go. And very nice. He's going to fire another one, so we'll just position ourselves a bit better and deal with these kobolds here. In there. Don't target Lindsay.
Die for me.
That's going to be the second one. This will kill them. So we can basically do our thing now. So we're going to spell strike him. There. So yeah, as you can see, no damage at all because of our lovely protection from fire. We're going to keep Harren back here because there'll be some more kobolds that spawn. And we'll see about taking out that one there. And do our lovely leather can take. We'll just shock and grasp him. Oh, it's really nice. So this is what I talk about. These ones here.
Do not falter.
Serves you
I should probably show his statistics. He's gained a load of levels. He's now a level 6 chaotic neutral sorcerer with a minuscule 39 hit points. His will save, his reflex save, and fortitude saves are all rubbish. We could have quite easily crowd controlled him if we'd wanted to. But where's the fun in that when you can just buy a scroll to make yourself immune? Let's take care of these.
Your life ebbs low.
Stand down.
And make sure we're... So what I'll do is we'll just hit him with a
You offend
magic
me.
missile. And hopefully...
Can we retreat now?
So, Alistair took 5 damage. And that is because we basically used up our scroll of Protective from Fire. So, better just finish this off.
Waste.
There There we go. Took more damage than I would have wanted because I'm messing around a little bit. But there we go. Okay. No danger, but yeah. The Rigonga strategy can... I should never have put him out front, but that's okay. We get Restovic Inquisitor's Broken Crossbow, which is part of our collection of artifacts. This is a wand of magic missiles at level 3, so that will fire 2 missiles and another ring of deflection. We can see just here a pedestal of some sort formed by the tangled tree roots. It seems that some long and narrow object rested here. And until recently, there's no sign of it now. So it implies that Tartuccio shoved it through that portal. There's some items. So this is quite good. This is a shield +1, heavy shield +1. So that's a nice upgrade for Octavia. There. And we'll just loot what these various kobolds have, which is not much, before we head off to go fight the next enemy. And you might be wondering, we haven't leveled up. Well, we're going to do that very shortly, when we gain some extra experience for having dealt with that.
The dangers don't frighten me.
Better heal a little bit. Blow through these channels to get Rigonga back up. There we go. Okay. And we see as we come here, whole crew's here. So yeah, Queen Badar and Chief Sootscale have both, you know, they're facing off against each other out here. And Alice is really nice. She's going to tell the truth. Tartuc deceived everyone. He stole the Sycamore branch. He caused everyone to make war. He attacked me. Now he's dead. And I've got both branches. So yeah, they've been betrayed. And we can take... There is a chaotic option, which is like you give them your gloves or your dirty sock or something to worship instead. But we're going to take this lawful good option because we want them to resolve everything peacefully. There we go. So, yeah. You can all live in peace now. And we get a big chunk of experience. Yes. And that's the level up. So, excellent. So what I'll do is actually I'll talk through the leveling up. And then I'll probably end the video before we go downstairs to kill a lot of other stuff. I think that's because this might take quite a while to talk through. So this is our level 4 level up, and in keeping with tradition, we're just going to level straight up. So there we go. And this is the first time we get an ability point. So that's great. It's not going to make a big difference here because we've not clicked over to +6, but we're sort of front-loading our charisma as I talk about in the second part of my introduction. Just going to level up Persuasion and Law Nature again. And we gain spells. We gain our first level 2 spell, which is a big event. Now, there are loads of great level 2 spells, far more than we're able to take. And my general sort of consensus is take stuff you're going to want to cast a lot. Don't take stuff that's going to be outclassed. I think I said my general consensus. What I meant is my general feeling here. And I'm going to take Blur as our first one, and the reason for that is that Blur never gets old, because although there are better concealments, full concealment from displacement, Blur has a 1 minute per level duration, and displacement only has a 1 round per level duration. So you can have everybody blurred, or your frontliners blurred, and then you can cast displacement on top of that, and it'll still only be a 50% concealment. Blur is 20, but once displacement wears off, everyone is still blurred. So you blur for the whole dungeon, and you keep displacement for the very difficult enemies. So I consider this spell, never gets old, and we're going to be using this all the way through. And it's so powerful early on, because of course it's a 20% miss chance for every enemy that attacks us. That's equals like a big damage reduction. That's damage reduced by a fifth. We will be taking other spells, obviously, but that's the first one. Now, there is a tendency to take defensive spells, personal defensive spells. Mirror Image is a really, really good spell. But because of the way it works, 1d4 images plus 1 image per 3 caster levels, unless you're at the front line, you're not going to get as much. Like, you'll use it, but you're not going to get its full benefit if you take it early on a backliner. I'll be taking it very shortly, but I'm not taking it as the first pick. Other sort of things, Burning Arc is great, and we'll be taking that. I think because it's an attack that doesn't require an attack roll. These transmutation spells like Cat's Grace and Bull's Strength, I consider a little bit of a waste on a sorcerer, because they have such a limited number of spell slots, and also because we've got a druid mercenary. A druid will get things like Cat's Grace Mass, Bull's Strength Mass later on, which will affect the whole party, and so your single Bull's Strength that you've taken, your Bull's Strength you've taken on your sorcerer, will be less useful. Also, Kingmaker is known for providing lots of like belts of strength, +2, +4, +6, even higher. So I consider these a bit of a wasted pick. Another one, False Life. This is really, really good. Because it stacks with greater False Life. This will provide temporary hit points. And temporary hit points are great because they last a long time. They'll keep you alive. Better on a sword and sorcery type character, and also we're gonna have Jubilost, who is an alchemist who can cast this on other people. So yeah, it's good, but it's a sort of cast once sort of spell. So yeah, and there's other spells that are useful, but what do you call it? We're gonna take Blur first. So there we go. Now, Lindsay.
Adventures call to them.
Lindsay the Bard. More Bard, please, because we're rushing to get this here, Dirge of Doom. So we don't want to delay getting that by taking other things on her. There's nothing special at this stage, except more spells, and we get a choice. We can basically go for her dexterity or her charisma. Now, it depends whether like what we're intending to do, but I'm gonna pump her charisma just because that's her spellcasting stat, and it feels rude not to. that's yeah. We're gonna go Trickery, Stealth, Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge World. 1 point left over, and we'll stick it in Nobility. So we get 2 level 2 spells, and now there's lots of different things we can do here, but I think Heroism, this provides a +2 morale bonus to attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. That's really important. And again, this spell is outclassed in its effect, but it's not outclassed in its duration. So it's a 10-minute per level duration, which means that it really will last a whole dungeon. If you imagine your level, it only takes you to get to level 6 before it lasts an entire hour. So this, I always consider this a pick that is not wasted. That's this spell is good. And the second one we're going to pick, now, see, we're not going into enchantment with Lindsay. So basically, my idea is I'm going to take Sense Vitals early, Actually, wrong. I'm going to discard everything I said about the sorcerer, and I'm going to take mirror image early on Lindsay, because we're almost entirely going to be casting heroism with her. We're going to empty her spell slots with casting heroism before every dungeon. So yeah, that'll do. And we want mirror image, and we want sense vitals. Okay, Valerie, we actually get a feat here. So yes, now fighter with our aim to get to level 5, because we want to go back to using tower shields without a penalty. We get a choice. We have a choice here. We can either even out her dex, which will give a nice little bonus to AC, so long as she isn't over her maximum armor, maximum dexterity bonus for whichever suit of armor she's wearing. But I'm going to front load taking strength, even though it doesn't provide a benefit here. We'll probably go 4 strength and 1 dex. So we are going to just pump perception here. That's my plan for Valerie. She's not a skill user, basically. That's yeah. And because she's a fighter, being level 4, we now have access to weapon specialization. And weapon specialization is fighter specific feat, and this will give us +2 bonus to damage, which is amazing. Like, at this level, to get that +2 to damage is just, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. The only problem is you need to already have chosen a weapon to focus in. Fortunately, that's kind of chosen for us for Valerie with her bastard sword proficiency. So yeah, we kind of know, because the Owlcat designers have put in somebody who seems geared towards bastard swords, that we're going to find some good ones. Whereas, likewise for scimitars, for Ragga, whereas a rarer weapon, the likelihood that we encounter them is a bit of a sort of hit and miss. Some things you'll find really good stuff of, some things you won't, and there's no way to know that blind. But this is going to boost our damage, and of course we get a BAB increase, which is excellent. +4 BAB means we're going to be hitting things for that greater damage. So if we just have a little look, right, there we go. 1d10 +5 instead of 1d10 +3. So, harem. Clerics, again, for the same reason you wouldn't want to multi-class a sorcerer unless you knew exactly what you were doing. We don't want to multi-class our cleric. Even though he's doing lots of hitting things on the head, he is primarily a cleric, so we're pumping wisdom here up to 24 eventually, and we'll just use his normal 2 stats as our religion specialist. We don't get any new spells. We're still level 2 spells, but we do get some more spell slots. And Ragga. Again, there are things you can do to multi-class your magus, of course, and some of the most powerful builds, although again I'm not a big fan of that word, involve lots of little dips and stuff, which can make a very powerful character here. But Magus 20, Eldritch Scion 20 is very powerful as well. So that's all we're going to do. Pumping his strength, which is nice because we tick over here, which means a higher attack bonus, because of course he's a 3/4 BAB class, so he finds it harder to hit than Valerie, unless he uses special powers. We're just going to do these normally. It's not such a big deal for Ragga, because he's not a full. I'm not going to have him full time in the party. Level 2. Now he's a magus, so effectively, he can be frontline. So the first thing we're going to take on him is mirror image, because the downsides to taking mirror image early are outweighed by the positives to taking it early. Again, because he's a a spontaneous caster. We don't want to take anything which somebody else can provide. So really, the other good essential spell I consider at this level is effortless armor, because I mean, it's not such a big deal at the moment, but eventually he can wear heavy armor, and if you're wearing heavy armor and you're not a fighter, you need some way to deal with the fact that it reduces your speed, and effortless armor is the way to deal with that. So there we go. He's rolling at +8, which is slightly lower than Valerie, which we know because his BAB is only +3 rather than +4. And that's it. We're gonna go down, watch this video. Sorry, watch this little cutscene, and then I'll pause the video. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah.
What a sorry spectacle. The treacherous servant of a treacherous king, who in his turn is mere servant to even greater powers. He impersonates a lesser creature and dies. A good joke is a powerful weapon, and a bad one can seal the Joker's fate. So be it. Rise, my unfortunate jester. Your performance is not over yet.
So what a mystery. Obviously this happens off camera, so our team here hasn't seen any of that. But somebody who's got, you know, that sort of ethereal look to them has basically resurrected Tartuccio as Tartuc the Kobold, and he's scampered off. So there's another player in the game and that's our introduction to them, and their talk about jokes is particularly relevant. So I'm going to pause the video here because we have other things to do that I want to split into a second video. So see you in the next video.